Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tier de France here, coming at you with another tier list video. Now, I have been seeing a lot of tier lists going on YouTube. Thanks, iDubbbz. Really appreciate that. Now I don't have a corner on the market anymore, which really is unfortunate. But anyway, going back into the tier list right here, okay? It's been a while since we've had our last one, and unfortunately, we're not going to be getting a lightsaber tier list. I don't really feel like it was necessary to do a tier list on a one-day event, when now we can do a T-pose tier list, which is for emotes that will be in the game, you know, forever. So, it's exactly what we're going to do, a T-pose tier list, which is, or you should call it a tier pose tier list, if it... Right? Okay, that's a bad joke. But anyways, we're going to go rank these emotes. I've looked through them all. I haven't actually bought any of them myself because, I mean, I don't know if they really do it for me, but there are some that are quite comical and pretty nice looking, so we're going to rate them like that, and as you guys know, that's just what we do. We rate the important things in For Honor. And I'd appreciate it, guys, before we get into it, if you could leave a like on the video, because I hear if you do, next time you step on a Lego, it won't actually hurt. And let me tell you, that's worth at least a like. I mean, please. Legos, that's like stepping on fucking knives. So I would appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support. Now, going back into the tier list, obviously, I'm just rating these basically on my own opinion. There's no like actual factors of me rating it. It's just like if I like it or not, because, you know, this is all my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. If I say something that you like is terrible, you might like it, and then you might like something that I think is cool, you might think it's terrible. So it's just whatever. We're going to go ahead and do it, rate it. Obviously, we're going to do S to D, with D being dog shit, S being super sweet. And we'll go ahead and get into the first one. Starting in the D tier, we have the man, Black Prior. Now, I think potentially part of the reason I have him in D tier is because I just fucking hate this character. But I also hate the little scream he does on it. Not a huge fan of it. And I just think that overall, this T-pose is not very good. Next in the D tier, we have the Shaman. Shamans is just, again, she's kind of stupid. I hate that point, by the way. For some reason, why is she constantly staring up in the air while pointing and also doing the fucking T-pose? I'm a little confused at that. She's fucking weird, and I think it looks terrible. Next in the D tier, we have the Nushia. She always does this weird little crouch thing, I think, in like a lot of her emotes and executions even, and it's just kind of strange to look at. I don't like her form, per se, through it, and I think that she could have definitely done better, put in more of an effort, and because she didn't, that's why she's in D. The final D tier character is going to be the Tiandi, and it's just so super basic. He's got almost like just a T-pose spam emote that I like even better than this. This is just, you know, he puts his hands in forward and then goes out and does it, and then does like a nice little, like, I guess, little fucking turn to the side, but I just don't like it. It's I think the most basic one that I've seen on this entire list. Well, now we'll be moving into the C tier, which the C is just slightly better than D. Maybe has a little bit more emphasis, maybe a little bit more enthusiasm from the character, but still nothing that is super crazy or really just, you know, like making me impressed, I guess. So basically, they're just First off, in the C tier is going to be Berserker. He's fucking cracked out. He is legitimately berserk in this one. He's going fucking crazy. I'm not a huge fan of the little like jump around he does. I don't like it, and I feel like the voice lines don't really match his jump. He's like, "Rah, rah," but yet he's like jumping like a little kid. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan. Next up in the C tier, we have Kensei. Now, see, I don't put Kensei in A or S every single time. Now, believe me, I like the form, and I think using the Yayoi helm on this definitely makes it a little bit better. But when you just look at it, it's just very, very simple. Nothing too crazy about it. It's slow. I do like, you know, the arms kind of going out slowly. But it's just kind of It's just like, yeah, that's a T-pose. Next up in C, we have Shinobi. Now, I wanted to put this in D because it looks fucking stupid, but I didn't because the smoke effect is kind of cool, and that is the only redeeming factor I find in it. It's going at in C. Just look at his legs. Look at how spread apart his legs are in this. Are you kidding? That is not proper T-pose right there. Are you kidding me? He's looking like an X instead of a T. Learn your alphabet, Shinobi, you dummy. Next up in the C tier is Nobushi. Now, Nobushi's is, you know, essentially what you would think. She spins her spear and then does the T-pose at the end. And I'm just going to say, I don't think that that's what you would do before you do a T-pose, and it just seems kind of like, oh, I can do a cool spin and then finish it off with a T-pose. It's like builds you up for something very, very hype and then just immediately lets you down. So I will say the spins are kind of nice, but that's the only reason why it's in C and not D. The final character in the C tier is going to be the Hitokiri. The main reason, I mean, I actually think that it looks kind of decent, but the main reason that it's in C is because at the end, she's just like, and you know what it sounds? It sounds like a cat with a very dry mouth trying to like meow or purr or something, and I fucking hate it. I don't like hearing this. Without the voice, it would be a lot better, honestly. But because of the voice, I put it in C. And now we'll be moving from the C tier into the B tier. B being basically average, because that's what it is. It's just ones that are like, well, okay, yeah, that's okay. And essentially that's what B tier is, so let's hop into it. First in the B tier, we've got the Warden. Very similar to Kensei. And I'm just going to say, this just looks like your pretty much quintessential basic T-pose right here from the Warden. Nothing too crazy going on here. Little stab in there. Good form. Obviously like it. Legs could be definitely a little bit closer together. So, got to knock him out some points for that. So, B tier for Warden. Next up in B is Gladiator, where he does this little spin with his shield onto his arms, flips it back up, and catches it with the T. And now, I am impressed of his ability to be able to do that, but frankly, I don't really like too much how it looks just in the grand scheme of the emote. So, it's in B because it's just okay looking. Next, we have Warlord in the B tier. And let me tell you, he looks like an absolute unit when he does do it, but the one thing that I'm really just like having a hard time with on this one is really the knuckle cracks and like the shoulder crack thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. Kind of sounds really weird, and let me tell you, that's a pretty stiff boy right there. But I mean, I like pretty much everything except the whole like knuckle cracking, and that's why it's lower on the list. Next on the B tier, we have Orochi, which I guess it's quite edgy. He throws his sword up, does a bunch of spins, does the T-pose, and then catches it. I kind of like, I guess the flair of it, but something about it is it's just a little bit too edgy for me. But it is kind of cool, I will say. I think that's probably the only time I've ever said anything about Orochi is kind of cool. So take that into account when I say this, but it's pretty average. Next, we have our Ramusha. Goes ahead, puts his swords behind his head, does a T-pose right there. I mean, it's, really, really basic. What you think? He's like, okay, can't T-pose with the weapons, put them away. Go ahead, put the arms out. Look at the form, though, on the feet. That is good shit right there. Without that feet form, this might be C, but that is fucking form right there. Take notes, guys. Aramusha knows how to do it. The final character in the B tier is going to be Shaolin. I kind of like how he, puts it down on his feet and then is able to flip it back up. That whole animation looks pretty cool, in my opinion, but it's still, again, it's just, it's just looking pretty average to me. Like, it's not terrible looking, it's not amazing looking, but yeah, just pretty average. So, Shaolin B tier. Now we're going to be moving into the A tier. The A tier for me is the ones that are starting to kind of, impress me, like with their mannerisms or perhaps just the animation style, what they actually do in the emote. It's just not just a simple, pose with the T and then you're done. There's more added to it. And starting in the A tier, we have Peacekeepers. Peacekeeper is very, very similar to that of Orochi, but I simply like Peacekeepers more. I like her little ha at the end as well. Find it's pretty smug, and I quite like it. Pretty solid. Next up in A, we have the meme man, Mr. Lawbringer. Goes ahead, does the T-pose, puts his pole axe in the ground, but he almost misses it, and then you'll notice right there at the end, he does almost a minor little pony emote right there. He almost, see he rides it right there at the end. Gotta respect that. And, but gotta knock points down right there for not putting the weapon in the ground enough to make it stay in. You're a strong enough man to do that, Lawbringer, alright? Don't disappoint me like that again. Next in A, we have Valk, which, as you can see from this, she clearly doesn't want to do it, and you can see her head shake right there, and I can actually decipher what she's thinking in her head. I had a conversation with her. She's like, yeah, you fucking happy now? Basically, she's like, yeah, I did it. Okay, I didn't want to, but I did it. So, I like the smugness of it, and that's why I put it in A. Next in A, we have Shugo doing the classic sumo stance, but then he finishes off with the T-pose, and then he even has, the balance with the weapon on the right hand. Now, the reason I didn't put this in S is it kind of made me, I was kind of feeling like I wanted a little bit more. Like, I felt leaving, this whole thing, watching it, like, I left wanting more. I definitely think they could have added something different with the big man to make it a little bit more unique, because there's so much potential that he has right there. I do love his laugh, though, at the end. The laugh is just absolutely amazing. And the final character in the A tier is going to be JJ. JJ goes ahead and does the T-pose, but then throws out his back, and then he's like, oh shit, I can't do this, I'm an old man. He's basically he's that dad who's trying to be cool. The dad that walks in when you're playing Fortnite and does the shoot right in front of you. That's what JJ's trying to be. He's trying to be a little hip with the kids, so I gotta give him the A for effort. But, again, probably shouldn't be doing that, JJ. Stick to killing people. And finally, we're moving into S. S, obviously, the best ones in the whole bunch. The ones that I think, personally, are the best T-pose emotes, and they just have a little bit more uniqueness to them than the other ones, and ones that actually, some of them genuinely made me laugh the first time I saw them. So, that's what we're going to go ahead and do. First one we got in S right here is Centurion, and let me tell you, Cent's voice, just the ooh, eh, ha ha ha, it gives this S alone. It is great, alright? The feet position right there kind of pisses me off, though, Cent, okay? You're looking like an X, not a T. But, oh my god, his voice in this is just absolutely spicy, and the kick-up of the Gladius back into his hand is definitely smooth, so that's why I had to put Scent in the S tier, but the feet positioning kind of pisses me off. Next character in S is Conquer, and it's definitely my favorite one out of the entire bunch. He really doesn't want to do it, but he ends up just doing a little brief T-pose right there, and I genuinely laughed while watching these the first time just to actually make my rankings. I never thought I would ever say that Conk was my favorite for anything, but when it comes to the T-pose, I don't even care about his foot position right there. He's just like, I don't want to do it, and then he's the quickness is hilarious on it, so Conk's is my favorite. Next on the tier list for S is going to be Raider. Raiders is funny. He's just kind of chilling. Go ahead, throws out the T. That's like, you know, you're just chilling with your boys or something, and then you're just like, ha, quick whip or something. He throws out the T pose. I don't know. There's something about this that made me laugh a lot, so I really liked it. That's why I put it in S. And the final character in the S tier is going to be Highlander. Highlander tries to do the Shaolin essentially, but he realizes he doesn't have a small stick staff. He has a large claymore, and it hurts his foot. I can understand that, and actually his face at the moment it drops is actually priceless to look at, as well as the voice lines for him getting hurt on it. I actually find it to be quite funny. Highlander, it's a Scottish man dropping a sword on his foot. It's quite funny. I enjoy it. Nice job. And that's going to do it for the tier list, guys. I know there's not really too much to discuss when looking at a T-pose emote, but just like my basic opinions and whatnot, so I hope you can respect them and realize that it's not too serious. Don't get too offended with some of my choices or whatnot, and don't try to give me an argument as to why one's better, because it really doesn't matter, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Regardless, I'll put the master tier list on the screen right now so you guys can know what every ranking was for the video, and also leave your comments below on other tier lists I should do. You guys do it all the time. Believe me, I have still like 50 other tier list ideas I can do. It's just a little bit of tedious editing, so that's why you don't get them super frequently, maybe once a week or one every other week. I'd like them to be a little bit more of a special upload type thing, and I hope that you guys appreciate the videos and whatnot for me making them. I find them to be a nice little break of not actually playing the game, so I do appreciate the support on these. So like I said, drop a like, comment, subscribe. It has been your boy Tony. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.